If you've been looking for a way to go from where you are today to financial freedom in the future, then in today's video, I'm going to explain the 3 properties to financial freedom strategy. This simple idea has completely changed mine and my wife's life and has the potential to not just create wealth in the future, but a passive income stream for life. The 3 properties to financial freedom strategy also has 3 simple steps. Step 1 is where you accumulate the properties today that will make you financially free and create wealth for you and your family in the future. Now, effectively in this first step that I call accumulation, you go out there and buy the houses that will create financial freedom for you in the future. So imagine you went out there and bought 3 houses worth $500,000 each today, and you held those properties for the next 15 years. Now let's also make the assumption that the 500K properties each rent for $500 per week. Now, when it comes to financial freedom, it is certainly not a sprint. We all know that it's going to take a delayed period of time, and we're going to have to sacrifice a little bit short term to get to where we really want to be longer term. Now, at the end of our accumulation phase, we should end up with 3 properties worth about $1.5 million that rent for $75,000 per year. Now, the second step in the 3 properties, the financial freedom strategy, is probably where you spend 90% of your time. And I call step 2 consolidation. This is effectively where you pay the debt or the remaining debt off the 3 properties that we bought in stage 1 accumulation. Now, there are 5 simple ideas that I follow when paying off debt on investment property. The first one is principal and interest, which means that if you just follow what the bank wants you to do, you'll own all of the properties in the next 30 years. The next one is paying a little bit extra off each of the properties per week. Now, in step 1, we're saving money to buy investment properties. But once that is over, we should have a good habit of saving money regularly. So if you can put a little bit extra down each week, maybe it's $50 a week per property, maybe it's $100 a week per property, or for some of our clients, it's more than $500 a week per property. But paying a little bit extra will massively reduce the loan term on these investments. Now, the third idea in getting rid of the debt is to use any surplus income that the properties produce to pay off that debt as well. So an example of this is, imagine when we first buy the property for $500K and we've got $400,000 debt on it and it's renting for $500 a week. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of surplus income, but what about in 10 years' time when the rent coming in from the property is now $700 a week and the debt on the property is only $300K? There's going to be a little bit left over at the end of each week, and instead of spending that money, we recommend you wipe it straight off the debt. Now, the next one is to take any tax benefits you get associated with the property or that chunk of cash that you get back at the end of the tax year, either through the depreciation report or through working with your accountant. And again, instead of spending that money, going and paying it straight off the debt. Now, in some instances, there'll be 0 tax benefit. And obviously tax benefits change as we move forward. But in other instances, some of these properties might be a little bit newer and they might have some great tax depreciation benefits that you can set up with your accountant. And so if you get something like $2,000 or $10,000 a year back at tax time, again, just whack it straight off the debt. Now, the last idea is a little bit more advanced, and that's what I call the partner property strategy. And that might be, okay, we're doing the first 4 things to reduce the debt as quickly as we can, but we want to speed things up in a safe, low-risk, long-term way. So we effectively buy 1 more property and we hold that property for a period of 7 to 15 years, and then we sell that property in the future. And obviously, firstly, we pay the government the tax, and then whatever we've got left over can be used to pay the debt of these properties faster. Now, the last thing I wanted to explain is step 3, which is the place where you've got choices, freedom in your life. Now, the reason we want to create freedom in your life is to spend more time with the people you care about, doing work you enjoy, becoming the best version of yourself, traveling, volunteering, training, dropping your kids at school, coaching them, whatever makes your life full. That is really the point where you've got freedom for life to do what it is that you really want to be doing with your time. Now, based on buying 3 $500,000 properties at the start of your journey, 15 years from completing that step, we should end up with around about $3 million worth of property. Now, the way that I've got this number is from getting $500K, which equals $1.5 million worth of property. And if we hold those properties for the next 15 years, and they grow by an average of 4.8% compounded per year, your 1.5 million bucks of property is now 3 million. Now, if we do the same thing for the rent and we look at each of the 3 properties renting for 500 bucks a week, that's 1,500 bucks a week times 50 weeks a year. Today, once we complete the accumulation stage, we're going to have $75,000 a year worth of income. Now, based on similar maths, if we hold those properties and the rent return increases by an average of 2.5% per year for the next 15 years, we're going to have more than $100,000 per year of gross income. So the 3 properties to financial freedom isn't rocket science. It starts with step 1, where we accumulate the properties that are going to create financial freedom for us in the future. Then we move to step 2, where we slowly and safely pay off the debt on our properties with the intent to own them outright. And then we move to step 3, where we get choices and freedom for the rest of our lives. Now, for those of you that have liked this idea and would like to know more about it, I'd love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session where we can talk about where you are today, where you'd like to be bigger picture, and where you'd like to be longer term. All you have to do is jump over to www.pumpedonproperty.com and book in that complimentary or free strategy session with either myself or my brother Simon, and we can walk you through this idea. We can talk about the best property markets in Australia at the moment, and then you can go and smash this in your local area, or maybe become one of the small number of clients that we work with each week. But either way, we wish you all the best, and we hope this simple idea has sort of turned something on for you so that you can create a life of choices and freedom sooner.
Woo! That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Getting cool, bro. Yeah. Oh, sweaty. So sweaty. Oh, that's good. Look at that. So nice, eh? Oh.